Hey everyone, what's up? It's Nick here, and in today's video I'm going to be answering a question which I got on my last video, which says, "Hey Nick, can you do a getting to know Sony Vegas video as I am quite clumsy with it? Thanks." And then he corrects me with the spelling mistakes and says Sony Vegas Pro 9. So anyway, thanks a lot for your question. In today's video I'm going to show you guys a quick little rundown to the interface of Sony Vegas Pro 9. So anyway, I've done a whole bunch of Sony Vegas tutorials before, so feel free to go ahead and check out my channel to go ahead and get to know Sony Vegas a little more. But in today's video I'm just going to give you guys a quick little rundown of Sony Vegas Pro 9. Now the same thing applies for Sony Vegas Pro 8 and Sony Vegas Pro 10. I haven't used Sony Vegas Pro 10, but I've used Pro 8 before. But anyway, in today's video I'm going to explain to you guys the basic Sony Vegas layout inside of Sony Vegas Pro 9. So to go ahead and get started, we just need to go ahead and open up Sony Vegas. So as you can see here, I have Sony Vegas Pro 9. So anyway, let's just go ahead and open it up. And if you guys are wondering why I've got the Windows Classic theme enabled, it's simply because the Arrow theme takes a lot of system memory for recording. And in the last few videos when I recorded with the Arrow theme, it gave me a little pop-up message, which I didn't like. So I just changed it to classic theme for now. But the same things will apply. So here is the Sony Vegas Pro 9 interface. So anyway, here we have the little toolbar on the top with all your tools. We have the menu bar. Then over here we have your preview window where you can go ahead and change everything. You can change the way it looks, so you can go ahead and make it run a little faster over here. So you can just change the quality of the preview window if you want to. This little button over here actually saves a snapshot of the current part of your video. So in case you want to go ahead and take a picture from a certain part of your video, you can do that. And you can also go ahead and use it for capturing freeze frames. So that's pretty good. And then over here we have our little thing with Project Media, Explorer, Transitions, Effects, Media Generators. Then down here we have your timeline. And down here on the timeline you have this little thing over here which actually lets you record a voiceover from your microphone. And then over here we have the zoom in on timeline, zoom out on timeline, and then these also zoom in and zoom out, but they zoom in big and stuff. And then over here you can actually go ahead and move the sizes of all of these stuff, so in case everything's not to the perfect size you want to, you can just go ahead and move it. And so now I'm going to show you something that's really important. So before you go ahead and start your project, before you go ahead and do anything, before you do that, you want to go up here to File, and you want to go to Properties, and then you want to change it to these settings. So I usually choose the template HDV 720p 30p 1280 by 720, and then I usually keep the settings that look all like this. So feel free to go ahead and take a little thing and take a moment to go ahead and look at my settings in case you want my settings here. And I usually checkmark start all new projects with these settings, but I don't have a checkmark because I already checkmarked it when I set these settings, so everything that I have is set to this. You can also do this with audio, ruler, and all this kind of stuff. And so once you have everything set the way you want to, click OK, then you can start editing your project. So first thing you will need to know is down here in the timeline, this is the scrubber bar, which you can go ahead and move. And then over here we have a seconds counter. So you can actually move it with your mouse, or you can move it with your arrow keys to count the seconds. So just in case you need to do some quick precision editing. Another thing to show you guys is the Project Media tab, which is going to be where all of your project media is going to be stored. So photos, music, movies, and all that kind of stuff are going to be stored in here for you to go ahead and drag into your timeline. Here we have the Explorer, which lets you go ahead and find files on your system. So if I just want to go ahead and import this picture, just double click it and it would bring it into the timeline, and it would also bring it into Project Media. And as you notice, it also made a new video track as well. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to import another picture too, just to go ahead and show you some stuff. And so now I have two pictures up here. And so to go ahead and zoom in on the timeline without using these things, you can just click in and use the scroll wheel to go ahead and zoom in like that. And then that's pretty much it. Now over here we have the video track options. So we have the opacity, which you can change out, and that kind of stuff over here. Then we also have track motion. So track motion actually lets you grab the little corners here and you can zoom in, zoom out, and add panning effects. You can also add in keyframes to go ahead and actually just do zooming and panning effects like you can inside of Camtasia Studio, which is actually really useful, which I actually would use if I wasn't using Camtasia Studio for this. And you can also always revert back to default by clicking up here and then clicking default. So then if we close out of that, that's pretty much track motion. Over here we have the composition modes. So if you've worked in Photoshop, then you know what I'm talking about with the cut, screen, overlay, dodge, burn, darken, lighten modes over here. But we have another for 3D source, alpha, which means if we go to track motion here, we can go ahead and zoom in, zoom out. We can also do screen pans. like you can in freaking ScreenFlow. So as you notice, 3D screen pans, which is really awesome. I've actually done a video separately talking about that, so I can close out of that. Then you have your standard mute button and all the kind of stuff over here in the video track. And remember, you can insert new tracks by clicking on the shortcuts over here, or just right-clicking in the timeline box. So anyway, over here we have a little button here for event pan crop. If we do that, it just lets you go ahead and crop the window. And you can also go down here and you can add in masks, which are for doing stuff like the clone effect or the lightsaber effect. I've done videos on the clone effect, which goes ahead and mentions these. So just telling you guys, just feel free to go ahead and look through my videos. And another thing I need to show you guys is over here is the transitions, where you can go ahead and find any transition that you want to. They have a whole bunch of transitions you can pick through. Just go ahead and pick through one of these. But another thing that I like to do instead of doing transitions is if you go ahead and take your mouse and move it towards the beginning or the end of a clip, you should get something that has a little rounded thing right here, which says fade offset. Click and drag it out and you can add in a fade effect. So that is adding in a fade out, and this will add in a fade in. So if we go ahead and click here, we can go ahead and play the video. And as you notice, it fades out and then it fades in, which is actually really good and something that I like to do. So yeah, another thing to show you guys is down here. It has the event effects. If we click that, it brings any one of the video effects to our clip right here. And you can also access them by going here to video effects and going ahead and taking a video effect and dragging it on. And there's a ton of video effects here, just like these transitions, so feel free to go ahead and explore these any way you want to. And then the last thing over here is media generators, which you can go ahead and media generate checkerboards, color gradients, credit rolls, noise textures, prototype titlers, solid colors, test patterns, text, and then legacy plugins. Now if you guys want to add these on, feel free to just go ahead and add in another video track by using the keyboard shortcuts or right-clicking and adding in a new track. And so anyway, that's pretty much it. Now I'm just going to go ahead and check my time down here, 6 minutes. So you guys can probably tell I'm rushing through this because I don't want to have to set this video to render for 2 hours. So yeah. So anyway, the last thing to talk about is rendering. So to render your video, so basically once you've gone ahead and have everything finished, you can go ahead and save it, so you can just go ahead and edit it later, or you can go ahead and export it. But Sony Vegas calls it rendering. So you go here to File and Render As, and this is basically exporting your movie. So you can name it to whatever you want to, save it whatever type you want to, wherever you want to. And you can also click Custom here to go ahead and change the video settings, which is basically like the Properties window, which I showed you as the first thing to do. So in case you haven't changed them, then you just go ahead and click on save and it will render your video, and then it'll basically export it. And basically that is my little quick rundown of Sony Vegas, just getting to know it and knowing the basics. And sorry if I was talking really fast, it's just I really don't want this video to go over 10 minutes. So yeah, sorry. So I hope this answered your question, Help Central 1. If you need to know any more about Sony Vegas, I've got a whole bunch of Sony Vegas Pro tutorials on my YouTube channel, and I'm definitely going to be making more to come. So anyway, yeah, thanks for watching everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.